Robert, am I being too hard on Dabo?
Uh, no. I mean, you have to adapt, okay? Because we all know what happened with Blockbuster. What came next? Redbox. What happened last week? Redbox went out of business.
Wow.
You got
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today on this ACC college football preview show, Maryland alum, man himself, our team leader, Mike King. Mike, how you doing?
I'm just happy the ACC still exists. I don't know.
Give us a week or two. All right, and our favorite administrator has joined us because we have some legal issues to talk about. Robert Abney. Robert, how you doing today?
I'm living the dream here in Central Texas as always. Didn't Maryland used to be in the ACC? Wasn't that a thing? That was a
Yes,
thing.
that was a big thing,
Just a
and
bit.
that's why uh, Mike has historical knowledge on many of these programs. So on today's OCP College Football Preview of the Atlantic Coast Conference, our shows are designed for the casual fan, and we will talk about things strictly for entertainment purposes only. In segment one, we will cover the quote A teams and Wake Forest. In segment two, we will cover the B teams, which is pretty much everybody else. And in segment three, we will talk about bowl eligible teams, conference winners, and any CFP potential participants. But first, let me get my Clemson rant out of the way so we can move on. Clemson, over under is 9.5. They're going to hope for more offensive consistency. But fans of the show know I have a problem with how Dabo Sweeney runs his program. Dabo, as Andy Dufresne will remind you, you have to get busy living or get busy dying. So I'm watching Clemson from an organizational leadership standpoint as they have not engaged in the portal. And I don't know what they're doing around NIL. Because it is Clemson, I'm going to let my panel share their thoughts. But I think their days of being a national power is over. As I said last year, they can win the ACC, but not much else. Mike, am I being too hard on Dabo and Clemson?
I think you're being too hard. I think they can win titles. It's just they have to change their approach. Their
But they're not
blockbuster.
changing their approach, and Dabo is standing on a ground with a stick in the ground
Well, right
saying, we're not doing it.
right now he's blockbuster, and the whole format's changing. And they're like, nope, people still want to get their VHS tapes and their DVDs here. Um, but eventually he's going to change, right? Like because he built a lot of goodwill. Goodwill goes quickly. It doesn't matter how many titles you win. Eventually, people are going to get mad at you. And once that happens, he'll be like, "You mean there's this portal thing where I can just take the best players from all these other schools and they'll want to come here because Clemson's like the greatest place?" I went to one game in Clemson. It was like eye opening. It was amazing. Uh, if you had the opportunity to just take the best players from all the different schools, why wouldn't you? I think maybe for a year or two he'll still dig in and then realize, oh crap, I could do a lot better, and then he
Uh,
will.
Robert, am I being too hard on Dabo?
Uh, no. I mean, you have to adapt, okay? Because we all know what happened with Blockbuster. What came next? Redbox. What happened last week? Redbox went out of business.
Wow.
You got to change with the times, man.
All right. So, Duke, selfishly, we love Duke because a Pape Branch alum has two children on the Duke team. Go shout out to the Moore family. Over under is 5.5. They hired Manny Diaz. Good dude. Used to be in Miami. It's going to take a while for him to get it going. But Robert, they do have a Texas transfer, Malik Murphy. Is he any good?
Yes, actually, he is. He can help them immediately.
All right. Well, maybe I'll do the over under for them and see if they can get to 6. But all right. Let's go to Florida State. We're going to hang around because, again, these are the A schools. Over under is 9.5. They are the favorites to repeat as ACC champions. They have a quarterback, Mike. DJ is coming back to the ACC to take over for Jordan Travis. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, last year had what 21 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. I think he'll be good.
Robert, any thoughts on the revenge tour, or this is just our typical fourth transfer in this new era?
I think he's just another transfer. Is he a good player? Yes. Is he a difference maker? I tend to think not, but I'm just some dude on a podcast, so who knows, right?
Okay. All right, Louisville over under is 8.5. Jeff Brom had Louisville in the ACC title game. They've got a little bit of a tougher schedule. They'll make some things happen. Miami over under is 9.5. Mario Cristobal talked a lot of trash, bless his heart. They've got the top quarterback in the transfer portal with Washington State's Cam Ward. They've got an elite defensive line. Is now the time, Robert, for Miami to step over and make it to the big boy tape?
If there is a time, this would be it. Yes.
All right. So NC State, again, shout out to my family. I do have alum from NC State. Their over-under is 8.5. The Wolfpack closed the season just winning a lot of stuff. But Mike, is the Wolfpack on the verge of being Oregon State and Washington State? Because although they have better academics and so forth than a lot of these schools, they keep getting passed over in terms of a lot of attention. What do you think about North Carolina State?
I mean, yeah, if Clemson and Florida State can't get out of the ACC, how are the other teams going to get out of the ACC? So NC State, they've got, there's history there. They've had good players, Phil Rivers. They've had their runs of being very, very good. But again, Clemson can't leave. They win championships. Florida State can't leave. They win championships. These other schools, they're just here. Sorry.
Okay. North Carolina, a shout out to a good friend of the show, Dr. Ariane Waite. Very kind to us for the last couple of years. Our favorite intern has gone to their football prospect camp. But now we're just talking business. They're over under 7.5. They lost Drake May. Mac Brown's a heck of a nice guy, but looks like they're going to be a middle of a pack team. But beautiful sky out there in Carolina. Great basketball museum. All right, Virginia Tech over under is 8.5. They've struggled a little bit, but now it seems like they've put some things together. They might be a sleeper team to watch. And finally, Wake Forest in this segment, then we'll catch up with everybody else. Over under is 4.5. They got some quarterback help in the transfer portal. But one of the jokes about Maryland going to the Big Ten was Wake Forest ain't bringing nobody to College Park, and Michigan State will. So that's kind of why I'll just leave Wake Forest there. They have a football team, great, but they're not going to do what Michigan's going to do fan-wise. So we've got to leave the ACC and go to the Big Ten. So with that, in segment 2, we'll catch up with the other teams of the ACC as well as our Texas contingent. Get your pencils and papers out so we can talk Cal and Stanford too. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast.
Why should student athletes use the CKA SAVE Project academic and athletic consulting services? Over the past 15 to 20 years, colleges, universities, professional sports teams, business organizations, and others have increased their use of consulting services to improve their decision-making processes and results. Over the same time, the athletic and academic landscape has changed for high school and college student athletes as the NCAA has raised initial academic eligibility requirements for student athletes while decreasing the number of transfer restrictions. Former college student athletes have noted that they were academic and athletically unprepared for the rigors of college. Let the CKA SAVE Project's close to 30 years of academic and athletic experience help guide student athletes to increase success as we work to help student athletes achieve the goal of obtaining a college degree. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast preview of the ACC. And in segment 2, let's keep going with the other teams. Boston College, over-unders 4.5. Their quarterback's returning. They have a new coach in Bill O'Brien. Mike, Bill O'Brien's coached some good players. Can he get some energy in Boston College?
Probably not. Uh, Boston College is a weird school because they'll have like decent players every now and again, and they'll have like their little runs, but it's Boston College. The guy they're returning at like 2,000 passing yards. He can run, 1,000-yard rusher, but
It's Boston
they're
College.
not
It's going to come back to
they're
it,
not
Boston
bringing back
College.
a guy on a team that was great, bringing back the quarterback on a team that was garbage. So, yeah.
All right. Fan sneaking in with the ACC preview, and I'm going to set him up perfectly. Georgia Tech, over-unders 5.5. Georgia Tech's hard to get in, but they've had some football history. And for some reason, teams in Georgia, outside of Georgia, don't drive, can't seem to get over the hump. How come Georgia Tech can't get over the hump?
Oh, they're too busy working on their education. Can't have everything. Can't have education and athletics. So, you got to choose one. And I guess they chose athletics because I don't see them getting over that 5.5.
You're breaking my heart with that, sir. All right, Pittsburgh, over-unders 5.5. Pittsburgh had its worst season under Pat Narduzzi. The Panthers will hope to get back in the bowl mix. 6 games. Good luck. All right. Syracuse, shout out to the basketball team. A lot of local flavor there, but we're talking Syracuse football. The over-under 7.5. First-year coach Fran Brown's got a lot of expectations, and a lot of that has to do with Ohio State transfer Kyle McCord. Robert, do you even have any familiarity with Ohio State quarterback Kyle McCord?
No, I think I might have seen him play last year twice. I just don't. You have a brand new head coach. You have a brand new transfer quarterback. You're looking for 8 wins in a school that recent history that doesn't happen. I ain't buying that, man.
Did you see Hard Knocks?
No.
Kyle McCord caught a stray.
Oh,
No.
is that the quarterback they were talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
He's
man.
the quarterback that they sent to Marvin Harrison Jr. That pass sucked. What do you say to the loser who threw it? It was my fault. Yeah, how's
Okay.
Kyle McCord?
That's the analysis you get on the OCP. Okay. UVA. I need some petty in my life. UVA. I like UVA. I have taken students on college visits to UVA. Last year, 0.5 went to their prospect camp, but now we're on the field and they're over unders 4.5. And they keep losing to JMU and other schools. So good luck. All right, Robert, this is your time to shine, baby. SMU. A lot of money coming into the program. Over under 7.5. I'm taking extra notes on this one, fans. They're the newest member of the Atlantic Coast Conference, and they have high expectations. A lot of people coming back. Preston Stone is the quarterback. They got 7 pass catchers with more than 20 receptions. Talk to me, Robert. Is this the one you pencil in? What you got for me?
Well, they have thrown a lot of money at this transition, boy. They have thrown a lot of money. And, they've got some really good players coming back. All that said, I don't know how much they've moved the needle in the DFW Metroplex. I just, you don't see SMU stuff walking around up there. You just don't. I think 7.5 is probably ambitious given the transition in terms of the difficulty of the schedule. Could it happen? Sure. Do I think SMU wants to be good and they'll continue to throw money at that? Absolutely. But I don't know as it's going to be this year.
I am very tempted to pay extra attention to SMU, but with that, we're going to go to Stanford. Will, since you brought up academics, they're over under 3.5. They're in year 2 of the Troy Taylor era. Do you think the team with the lowest win total projection in the ACC can win 4 games?
Nah, I think they can win 4. I think they win like 3 games. 3 games sounds good. I don't know what happened. They just became this like immediate bum. I mean, again, when you don't have CMC and when you don't have Harbaugh, like it's you don't have much. But I always thought they could bring people in. I mean, they used to have a pretty exciting program. And even if they had the brother after I forgot his name, who was right after him. They had a pretty good team.
David Shaw.
Yeah.
David Shaw.
Yeah. I thought they had a really good team, or at least good, like, you bring, I guess, but when you say, okay, well, this is the GPA, and this is the GPA to get in, that tends to do the Notre Dame things where kind of people skirt them along and they're like, well, now I ain't going over here. But I don't understand why kids don't go there. Northern Cal, it's beautiful over there. I don't know, but I don't see them getting any better. CMC is not coming back.
I wonder how much if this move is going to influence how Stanford and Cal both treat the portal. Because
for sure.
Academically, those are 2 schools that are fairly prestigious. If you are not an athlete, they are extremely difficult to get into. I just don't know how much those 2 schools are willing to loosen up their portals, and same with schools like Duke, Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech, schools like that. How much are they willing to loosen up the portal in this day and age? Right now,
but even
right now they're not. So this is what you're going to get.
Yeah, and it's always crazy. Like when you're California, I mean, that's a good place to be. I mean, they have a ton. I can't even talk about how much immense talent they have. How do you not even get the guys who can like trickle over, like, oh, we didn't get USC or UCLA, but hey, your third option, man, Cal, I can't believe they had Deshaun Jacksons. I mean, they had Aaron Rodgers, Marshawn Lynch. I mean, I don't know if he started there, but I don't know who were their GM, their AD, or who were getting people come in. They stopped, but they just can't field the team or even talent. And that's in California. You can't walk around and stumble over a guy who can play football, who played at Mater Dei. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how you not have talent. But I guess it's just kind of like Maryland. You have so much talent. I don't know why you don't get it. It's just this enigma that you don't understand, this riddle that you have to figure out. But they'll still be the same.
All right. Mike, I'm going to you to close out. Cal, over under 6.5. It's their first season in the ACC. They should contend for a bowl game. But Mike, why is California in the Atlantic Coast Conference? I mean, what are we doing? Please share your thoughts, man.
Money. That's fine. But as far as the 6.5, I'm looking at their schedule, and I think this might be one that you kind of look into as an under and think about. UC Davis, fine. They got Auburn, San Diego State, Florida State, Miami. None of those are gimmies. Pittsburgh, NC State. None of those are gimmies. Oregon State, who's going to want to beat them. They get Wake Forest. They get Stanford. Then Syracuse and SMU are walkovers. They don't have like if I'm picking a team with over 6.5, I want to see like 5. Okay, those are wins. Can we get these 2? I don't see 5. I kind of like the under on this one.
Robert, he has piqued my interest. Strictly for entertainment purposes only.
Here's the other thing to think about. Cal and Stanford both, actually, they have to make 5 trips across the country. 5.
Damn.
That's like 25,000 miles of air travel, maybe more. That's a lot. And 3 time zones.
Class. It's going to be hard to get.
Yeah, you got class on Monday morning. They're going to miss class because they're leaving Friday morning.
Thursday.
I mean, it's this.
I wonder.
What are we doing?
It's crazy. I mean, like Robert said. I mean, the first September 20th, they're going to Syracuse, going back to California. Then next week, Like not even a week, probably like 7 days. They're going to South Carolina. It's crazy. I don't even know why. They should just stay there and do some satellite stuff. They
And
say, okay, guys,
I
we're
bet
gonna
they
stay on
will
the East
stay
Coast.
there, and I bet they'll
And
zoom
they
in.
might.
Yeah, we could do online learning. We can,
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just say just satellite learning, get stuff in. We're gonna stay here and we're probably not Syracuse, but maybe a little further down. Maybe they'll go in like Maryland or Virginia, somewhere nice,
Yeah.
and then
Well,
they're like, all right, and then we'll go down to South
Syracuse in
Carolina.
the fall is probably fine. If you're up there,
No.
No, if you lose, you ain't staying there.
I went to
Man, you
Syracuse
lose, like,
once,
get
and
your
I was
ass
like,
out.
what is it?
Get out of
It
here.
was like a glove factory. It was like,
Yeah.
nothing.
All right, so fans, when we get back in segment 3, we'll do bowl alignment, conference winners, CFP. We'll be right back on the Hot Coaches Podcast.
The reviews are in for Dr. Keith Adams' book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. College professor and student athlete academic expert Dr. Lisa Rubin said, "There is nothing out there like this book, so I do hope people will pay attention and give it a read." Former George Mason standout Folarin Campbell said, "Consider this book an opportunity to work directly with Dr. Adams, just like I did. I assure you that there will be something you can take away that will be useful to you throughout your personal journey." Ryan Waite, a recent college graduate who is a software engineer, said, "I like how the book is based on research, which makes it good for general students as well as student athletes." The book serves as both a memoir to Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic career, as well as an instructional guide to assist student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators navigate through the challenges of finding a better balance between academic and athletic success. The book includes over 15 personal stories and anecdotes from Dr. Adams, along with numerous former players and colleagues from a variety of sports and endeavors. You can order your copy at www.ckasaveproject.org. From the main page, simply click CKA Save Project Services and order the Find the Balance book. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Hot Coaches Podcast, still on the Glove Factory. In segment 3, let's talk bowl tie-in. So the ACC champion will automatically go to the Orange Bowl if it's not selected for the college football playoff. If the top ACC team is in the college football playoff, the highest available team will go to the Orange Bowl. The ACC gets a team into one of the New Year's Six bowl games no matter what. Now, Notre Dame is eligible for any ACC bowl tie-in as long as it's within one game of a team eligible for the slot. However, it's not eligible for the Orange Bowl, and we will talk about Notre Dame in a separate setting. The ACC bowl slots will mostly be based on matchups with the potential to generate the most interest. There is not a true pecking order. So, if you're not in the football playoff, the highest ranked team is in the Orange Bowl. And now we're getting to tiers of bowls. So the first tier of bowls, the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl, the Pop-Tart Bowl, the Duke Mayo Bowl.
That's my favorite one.
The Wasabi Fenway Bowl. Robert, they're playing football in Fenway Park. The Military Bowl, the ReliaQuest Bowl, the San Diego County Credit Union Holiday Bowl, the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, and the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. That's the first tier of bowls. And then there is a second tier of bowls. The Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl, the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl, and the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl. So here are the bowl eligible teams: Clemson, Duke, Florida State, Miami, Louisville, UNC, NC State, Virginia Tech, Syracuse, SMU, and Cal. Mike, have I made you care about any of these teams playing in any of these bowls?
I mean, I only care because there's the two Big Ten tie-ins, and Maryland's been in both and whooped up on Virginia Tech by like 40-something and beat NC State. So it's fun to get some of those like potential matchups again. And the Mayo Bowl's fun because when Loxley had the Mayo, the hat filled the Mayo, put on his head at the end of the game. Outside of that, I mean, no. If Maryland's involved, yes. Outside of that, I'll watch a 10-second clip of whoever gets mayo poured on their head, and that's
So, Will Cotton, do we care about any of these bowls, man? I'm trying to get a lot of energy, but you have been on shows where we're talking about bowls, and none of you seem to care. Now that we're doing it at the start of the season, can I get you excited about possible bowl matchups?
Oh, I like those like obscure bowls, man. I think those bowls are so fun. Like they end up being like 56, 67 scores, you know what I'm saying? But what I think would be cool, they should like produce like they like present like a bowl, like like a rice bowl or like some kind of bowl, like okay, we're at the Duke Mayo Bowl, and this is what you get. You get mayos, you got sausage, you got brisket, we got all this stuff. And every bowl has a present, and then at the end, the fans say, this was crap. This was terrible. And then they vote for the winner. I think I'm just trying to make things fun for these guys, man. They have all these ideas. They don't want to use it, but I'll watch all these bum bowls, man. I'll make my son watch them. They're going to be on in the background. I like them joints, man.
So, Robert, this is the Atlantic Coast Conference. This is one of the Power Four conferences. We have gone through all of the teams. I have gotten your juices going. Is there any particular team you're looking at or any particular bowl matchup now that you've got the tie-ins? Have I finally done it?
I guess it's fun that they play a bowl game in Fenway Park, being a Red Sox fan. I mean, the old Boston Redskins used to play in Fenway Park, before they became the Washington Redskins. So there's that. I feel like, probably Miami. I think Miami is probably just first look. I think Miami's probably the best team in the conference. I think Miami might have the best shot to go to the CFP. You've got Clemson and Florida State joining them. I don't see three teams from the ACC making it to the CFP.
All right, and that's a good segue. So conference winners, it's going to come down, as Robert said, to Clemson, Florida State, and Miami, which means it's going to either be Clemson, Florida State, or Miami winning the ACC and representing the ACC in the college football playoff. Mike, who do you have representing the ACC in the 12-team playoff?
Florida State.
Florida State. Any second team from the ACC or okay? Will, who's representing the ACC in the 12-team playoff? All right, and again, we're on the radio sometimes, so Florida State. Robert, what you got?
I'm gonna go with Miami.
All right. Will there be two ACC teams though?
No.
Nobody's. The ACC is the Atlantic Coast Conference.
The SEC's 8th best team has a better shot.
Okay. All right. So on behalf of our Cavalcade of Stars, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Hot Coaches Podcast. And we'll see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care.
The Odd Coaches Podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches Podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches Podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches Podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach FRANCHIZE. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches Podcast.